This is the Balancing Act by Security Compass, your guide to going fast while staying safe in today's digital world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast today. It's the second in our series on CMMC, where we're joined by our experts, Sesh and Harvey. Welcome to both of you once again today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you.
Great. Wonderful. So let's go and start to talk a bit about CMMC and how it begins to intersect with the industry. What does CMMC mean to the suppliers, to the DoD? We hear a lot about the security that's being built in, and so suppliers now have to comply with this. But what does that mean from an operational standpoint? Sesh, you have some thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's kind of, I'll say, a bit of carrot and stick approach here. So the carrot is obviously CMMC is helping them to mature their cyber capabilities, right? So I'm helping them to kind of like mature their program and ensure that they have appropriate controls built in to protect the CI information. But at the same time, Department of Defense is not relying completely on them to go and build this, right? So they are now kind of like defining, hey, what levels you need to have, what level they need to be, depending on what UI information today they process, store, or store that information. So that's basically like where the Department of Defense is coming and saying, if you are actually like, if you want to participate in a RFP or RFI process, and if that contains the CI information that you are going to access, process, or store, you need to have, you need to be at certain level, right? So that's where actually like the stick approach comes, where it is driving all the prime and subprimes to go and get that certification. So that way they are eligible to participate in those RFPs and RFI process. So it's a good approach to me, like kind of like one, making sure that they are actually like building the maturity at the same time, also driving them to go and get that certification done.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Harvey, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with Sesh, and it appears that that the DoD, I think, is getting very serious about this. That with the increasing number of breaches that we have, they're wanting to find other ways to cut down on that, and actually just to better measure and set a higher standard for those who participate with them in their mission.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting.
And to add to,
yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, and to add to Harvey, I think that's very much needed at this point of time, because we are in a digital age, right? So we don't know like what information we collect today can and where it's going to land up. That's the biggest challenge, I think, today, like all the countries or all the federal governments across the world is going to have. And that's where I see definitely like the Department of Defense taking a transformational or leadership role here, kind of like setting certain standards that are high standards in terms of what they should be doing in terms of protecting that information.
Mm-hmm. Do either of you have any thoughts on, the supply chain is pretty vast and can consist of organizations that are really large and other organizations that are sort of small to mid-size. Any thoughts, any ideas on the impact on some of the smaller and mid-size organizations in the supply chain as well?
Why don't you lead on that?
I think it's going to have a lot of impact, especially for the medium and small scale organizations or the subcontractors or subcontractors. Today, like if you look at them, right, so they are confused. So they don't know what this process is going to look like, first of all, right? So they don't know who are those third-party assessor organizations, what is the frameworks that they are going to come and assess them against. It is like there is a baseline. We all think that everyone is going to use 800.171 as a baseline to do it, because CMMC itself is kind of like built on that particular framework or a standard. So that's an assumption that we make, but we never know like what the approaches that they're going to have in terms of coming and assessing these organizations and certifying it. So there's still that is still evolving. So that's one of the, I don't call it as a gray area, but definitely that's an evolving thing. So it's something that they need to understand. Second thing is the cost, right? So today, a lot of these medium and small scale organizations, they don't have that financial muscle to be able to meet those compliance requirements. So for them, it is not today very difficult to estimate or make budgets to say, do I need to keep $10,000 aside, or do I need to kind of like spend $1 million? So that's the biggest question that they have. That's the confusion they have. And third, the target of the CMMC is or the Department of Defense is to get everyone almost like 300,000 plus defense contractors certified by 2025. So that's kind of like a time frame. It's almost like we have 5 years time frame. So they are again very confused. Like, when is going to be my turn? So do I kind of like take a proactive step here, or do I wait till actually like the the Department of Defense comes and say, hey, now it's your turn, go and get yourself certified. So there are some things. I know a lot of moving parts here, so it's kind of like evolving. But overall, the small and medium scale organizations are obviously looking for the guidance around how they should be approaching the CMMC certification.
That's great. So Harvey, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, I do. Thanks. And yeah, no, I agree, Sesh. And I think just a quick thought on this. I do think the bigger companies will have the greater advantage there. And smaller companies, medium-sized companies may have a more difficult time and may need to look at their strategies and may even consider merging, or some form of combining forces amongst competitors may occur in the near future. It'd be interesting to see, Altaz.
That's interesting. And with that, we're up against our time. Thank you both once again for joining us today. Much appreciated.
You bet.
Thank you.
Can't get enough of the balancing act? Make sure to check out our website at www.securitycompass.com and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more episodes.